Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah. All right, this feels good. 2, 3, 4. I've dug my share of treasures, dug so deep that they called it a crime. There might be pleasures I've never tasted, but I ain't wasting no more time, 'cause the furnace is burning white hot, and the hammer is swinging with the weight of the world. Now's the time, like it or not, to stand and deliver, stand and deliver. That old pig's so proud, lying in the mud, and Miss Chicken's just happy that she ain't been fried. The buzzards ain't worried about no flood, but I'm not ready to be satisfied, 'cause the furnace is burning white hot, and the hammer is swinging with the weight of the world. Now's the time, like it or not, to stand and deliver, stand and deliver. I got a picture of Teddy Roosevelt hanging on the wall in my home on the range, but I felt a strange wind blowing, telling me something is about to change, 'cause the furnace is burning white hot, and the hammer is swinging with the weight of the world. Now's the time, like it or not, to stand and deliver, stand and deliver. clouds straining for the sound of the angels strumming. I've been known to pray out loud, but I ain't waiting for the second coming, 'cause the furnace is burning white hot, and the hammer is swinging with the weight of the world. Now's the time, like it or not, to stand and deliver, stand and deliver. 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 Stand and deliver. Thanks, y'all. This is Barrett Smith. My name's Graham Sharp. Playing a band here called the Steep Canyon Rangers. And, yeah. Proud to be from here in Asheville. Proud to be here supporting Moe Davis here today. So we appreciate y'all's support. Yeah. Yeah. What you feel like?
Let's do that, Sisters and Brothers.
All right. E?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're even in the right district,
Yeah.
which is hard to figure out.
Which is tricky, yeah.
And shouldn't be.
It was. It now is.
Jeez. I'd like to say to my sisters and my brothers to keep the faith, 'cause when that storm flies and the wind blows, you move on at a steady pace. 'Cause when the battles fall and that victory is won, we shall all shout together, we have overcome. And then we'll talk to the Father and the Son when we take it to the promised land. Come on now, walk together, little children. We don't ever have to worry. In this world of trouble, we gotta love one another. Come on and take your fellow man by the hand. Try to help him to understand that we'll all be together forever and ever when we take it to the promised land. Our Bible reads, "Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, or that arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that wanders in the night, nor for the destruction that awaiteth in the noonday hour." Come on now, walk together, little children. We don't ever have to worry. In this world of trouble, we gotta love one another. Come on and take your fellow man by the hand. Try to help him to understand that we'll all be together forever and ever when we make it to the promised land. This world is not our own, we are only passing through. Our fate's been made up way beyond the blue. So let's do the very best that we can traveling through this land, and then we'll all be together. We'll be shaking a hand when we take it to the promised land. Come on now, walk together, little children. We don't ever have to worry. In this world of trouble, we gotta love one another. Come on and take your fellow man by the hand and try to help him to understand that we'll all be together forever and ever when we take it to the promised land. That we'll all be together, shaking a hand when we take it to the promised land.
Thanks, y'all. Yeah, we'd like to invite our wonderful host, Joan, up to the stage. Joan Glavin, thank you so much for hosting us here.
Well, hello to everyone. Welcome to our Hoe Down with Moe. We got off to a good start. My name's Joan Galvin, and for those of you here, you're sitting in my front yard. For those of you online, you can see the yard, and we are blessed with a beautiful fall afternoon. And we're really happy about that. And we're also just totally thrilled to have Graham Sharp and Barrett Smith with us. Yay! that song was just inspirational, don't you think? That fed my soul. I love to hear that. And I think that we can all use a little bluegrass in our lives right now. In fact, I dare say we can use a lot of bluegrass. And bluegrass makes me think about community and family. There's an old mountain saying, some of you I were talking to before this know what I'm going to say. They'll ask, who are your people? Who are your people? You know what that means. And that can be a long conversation. Well, my people include my neighbors and friends and relatives who live here, and also my new friends and neighbors. Many of them, maybe they weren't born here, but they had the good sense to get here as quick as they could. So some of y'all are in that crowd, and that's fine. For me personally, my family's been here for about 230 years. So I'm probably related to just about anybody that, came into this area in the late 1700s. However, and this is significant, and y'all understand what I'm going to say here. While we have all this family and relatives in all of these counties, Henderson, Buncombe, Yancey, especially Madison for me, we also have a few cousins who wandered down the mountain to Shelby. And you know what? They're still on the family tree. So they're still family, even those that came from Shelby. And Moe Davis, you are one of my people. And it's not because of DNA. It's because that we have a shared belief in the goodness, the resilience, and the wisdom of the people here in Western North Carolina. And that is something that runs deep in my family. My father served in the United States Navy, Warren Ponder. And my husband, who's right up on front here, Tim Galvin, served in the Air Force. He actually went to the U.S. Air Force Academy. And one of the things they stress, if you go to the Air Force Academy, you can't leave without knowing this, are three things: duty, honor, and country. And I think these are three things that truly apply to the way Moe has lived his life. Duty, honor, country. I really appreciate it, and I think you do too, how fortunate we are that Moe offered himself up as a candidate in this race for the 11th Congressional District. And I think we all know when he is elected, he's going to serve in a very unselfish way, in a very giving and faithful way to all the people in Western North Carolina. And now I'd like to ask Moe to come up and give us a few words.
Well, thank you so much, Tim and Joan. I really appreciate you allowing us to do this. It's an honor to be here, and Graham and Barrett, thank you guys for letting me join in with you. It's a real privilege, and you may regret this here shortly, but we'll try to muddle through. Now, it really is an honor to be able to run. We got 43 days to go, and it's getting close, and we can't do what we did in 2016 and get complacent. We got to sprint to the finish and break the tape, and then we can celebrate on November the 4th. But we can't try to coast in like we did last time and then wake up shocked because, when I grew up here in North Carolina, I'm 62 years old. So I grew up back during Terry Sanford was the governor. When I started school, when I graduated, Jim Holzhauser was the governor. When I went to college and to law school, Jim Hunt was the governor. And back in those days, we were the envy of the Southeast. I mean, we had good roads and good schools, and we had Research Triangle Park before anybody ever heard of Silicon Valley. And I was proud in 1983 when I joined the Air Force to say I was from North Carolina. Because quite honestly, folks from the other southern states looked at us with envy because we embraced the future and leaned into it. And then I left. My plan was to do 4 years and come back home. And 36 years later, I made it back. And it seems like while I was gone, there's been an effort to turn the clock back. And I think we need to be that state I remember. We were proud and progressive, and we embraced the future rather than running from it. So, yeah. So that's my commitment, is to represent the district. I went to some of the Black Lives Matter marches, and I had folks on the right saying, why in the hell would you go march with those people? And I went to the Back the Blue marches, and I had folks on the left saying, why in the hell would you go march with those people? And the answer is, if you represent the district, you represent the whole district. Not just the people that like you and vote for you, but everybody in the district. And the fact is, we're all behind. By any objective measure, if you still believe in facts, we're behind. I talked about the good schools when I was growing up. Nowadays, the kids in our rural counties rank in the bottom third of the country in math and reading. Broadband, has become a huge issue with COVID-19. When the kids got sent home from school with a laptop when COVID-19 hit, if they're in one of those counties where 50% of the people don't have broadband, they can't keep up with their peers in the urban areas. Healthcare. There's 17 counties that make up this district, and in all 17 counties, the percentage of people that don't have health care coverage is above the national average. And then employment, the poverty rate. We have 17 counties in this district, and in 14 of the 17 counties, the poverty rate is above the national average. So that's a fact. That's where we are, and we can do better for everybody in Western North Carolina. So I'm a big believer in green technology. I think that's our path forward. Lisa, if you haven't met my wife, Lisa's there in the front row. And we moved down here. We bought property back in early 2018 and started building a house. We're out near Warren Wilson College in a development called Sovereign Oaks. And we started building in early 2019 and moved down here in May of 2019 to watch the house get built. And we've been 11 weeks now we've been in our house. So we put in solar and a solar battery and geothermal, and we got our power bill. Last month was the first month that we've been fully operational, but Duke Power, we got our bill at $16, which that's the surcharge. So we didn't use any power last month. And now that it's cooled off, we're in the green, we're making power. So we can be doing that all across this district. The panels on our house were made in America, but they weren't made here. And one of the components that goes into solar panels is mica. And if you go up towards Burnsville, there's a big old mica mine that we're shipping off. And then we're shipping the panels back. We ought to be leveraging, North Carolina is number 2 in the country in solar energy production. And we need to make Western North Carolina the epicenter of alternative energy. Those are good jobs. So it's good for the economy, it's good for the environment, and I think it's a real opportunity for us to move forward and embrace the future. I remember on New Year's Eve 2019 thinking, thank God 2019 is over. And I should have been a little more specific in my wishing because I didn't imagine 2020. But one bit of good news, this will be the first year ever that we produce more power from non-carbon-based sources than from carbon-based. Wow. So that's a good thing. And we need to continue that trend. So I really want to focus on bringing green technology jobs here to Western North Carolina, because I think it's good for the economy, good for the environment, and good for everybody. And then I mentioned broadband. Nationwide, 92% of Americans have access to broadband. And in North Carolina, it's about 94% do. But in our district, we've got counties where it's less than 50%. And we can't compete economically. If we don't have broadband, they're not coming with the good jobs. And our kids can't do online education. And a lot of people have never heard of telemedicine until COVID-19 hit. But if you're in one of the hollers that doesn't have broadband, you can't use telemedicine. And I'm a disabled veteran. I use the VA hospital. It's the same VA hospital my dad went to a half a century ago when I used to come up here with him. And I had my first telemedicine appointment this week. But if you're one of the 65,000 veterans in this district and you don't have broadband, you can't use that benefit. So it's an issue that impacts everybody, Democrat, Republican, and unaffiliated alike. And Jim Clyburn from South Carolina has introduced a bill that's based on the rural electrification plan from the 1930s that brought electricity to the rural areas. And I'm looking forward to getting to Washington on January 3rd and working with him to bring broadband to Western North Carolina, because we can do it. We did a Zoom the other night where we had 5 folks on that were experts in broadband. And I'm not a tech guy. I thought it was going to be a Herculean task, but we've got the technology. We just got to have the will to do it. So again, my commitment is to go to Washington and work for everybody, because we're all behind. And if we can do good things that help folks, then hopefully I'll get reelected. And as I've said, if I don't keep my word, then in 22 months you get a chance to vote me out. So what I'm asking for is a chance, because you gave Mark Meadows 4 terms. And when I travel around, I ask folks, said, what can you point to that Mark Meadows did to help you and make your life better and your kids' future brighter? And he did put in a bathroom at the depot up in Marshall. And I got to give him, I used it, so I've got to give him credit for that. But other than that, that's about it. So I'm asking, give me 22 months, and let's see if we can't do better for everybody. Yeah. Right? So thank you so much for coming and for your support. And our polling shows that we can win by double digits if we get the word out to people and they can see the contrast between me and my opponent, who quite honestly is the least qualified person running for Congress anywhere in America. And to send him there and be in the minority where you can't get anything done, it's just not good for the district. So I'm really pleased at the number of Republicans that are supporting me, because they know that we need to get the district moving in the right direction. Some of them have said, I'm hoping in 2022 we have a candidate I can vote against you with, but we don't in 2020, so I'm voting for you. So thank you all so much for being here and for your support, and let's do this.
Everybody's maybe had a cold beverage out there, so we're safe to do a couple more songs. Well, I'll tell you what, this band, Steve Cannon Rangers, we supported a couple candidates back in the day who were running against a fella down there out of Brevard, Mr. Taylor. And we even had a song called Mr. Taylor's New Home back in the day, but we've never been more excited to support a candidate than Moe Davis. So we're feeling good, feeling really good.
We're hopeful.
Yes, yes. All right, how about it? 1, 2, 3. Cold and cloudy day.
Undertaker, 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 please drive slow for that lady that you're hauling. Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we muddled through one.
That
so,
was good. You do another?
Let's do one more.
All right.
I will. Then you guys can play. You know, years ago, back in the 1970s, if you're from around here, you might remember Rufus Edmonston. And I worked for Rufus back in the 1970s. We were talking earlier. Remember Sam Irvin in the Watergate hearings? Yeah. And Rufus was his general counsel. And all the hearings, Rufus sat right over his shoulder. So every day on television, his face was right there. And then he came back home and he ran for Attorney General. And that's where I graduated from Appalachian State with a degree in criminal justice. And I went to Raleigh and worked for Rufus in law enforcement training. And if you knew Rufus, you know, he liked to have a drink or two. But he was campaigning. And part of my job when I was working there was to carry my guitar in the trunk because he liked to sing Honky Tonk Angel. And so in his memory, I'm going to try to see if I can't do, might forget the words, so let me put them down here. But Rufus, I think, is still living down in Raleigh. So this one, Rufus, if you're watching, this is for you. You wouldn't read the letters that I wrote you, and you asked me not to call you on the phone. But there's something I'm wanting to tell you, so I wrote it in the words of this song. I didn't know God made honky-tonk angels. I might have known that you'd never make a wife. You gave up the only one who ever loved you, and went back to the wild side of life. Here tonight, the jukebox playing your song about the wild side of life. As I listen to the words that you are saying, it brings back memories of when I trusted you as my wife. It wasn't God who made honky-tonk angels, as you say in the words to your song. Too many times married men think they're single, and it has caused many a good girl to go wrong. It wasn't God who made honky-tonk angels. I might have known that you'd never make a wife. Too many times married men, they think they're single, and they go back to the wild side of life.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Ah, that's awesome. All right, Moe Davis, everybody. All right, yeah. Awesome. Yes. Jimmy Martin's got a great song. I don't know if y'all Jimmy Martin, King of Bluegrass. He's got a great song called "Guitar Picking President." But I think guitar picking Congressman sounds,
love it.
sounds even better right now.
The singing congressman.
That's right.
Singing Congressman Moe Davis.
Yes. Oh, do that one in So Many Rivers? Oh, yeah. Should we try that?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
We're feeling a lot of change coming. I was born by the river in a little town, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know that change gonna come. Oh yes, it's been too hard living, but
right, so Mo mentioned Hendersonville. Driving through there yesterday, everybody's selling apples out there already. And he mentioned some of the downtown demonstrations too. And a friend passed along a story that Joe Sam Queen had told him about a box of apples. Made me think of the term a bad apple. Now, one bad apple spoiled a bunch, so I'll try you one called Bad Apple. Went downtown to speak my mind. One eye forward and one behind. Looking for a little good trouble. Looking out for that one bad apple. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. I don't know, but I got a hunch. One bad apple will spoil the bunch. If there's no love when you plant the seed, it'll bear fruit that nobody needs. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. It's a bad apple. Hey! Hey! Whew. It's the altitude getting to me up here. North Asheville. Woo. Let's see. That's finger picks right here somewhere.
Yo, the Steep Canyon Rangers are fired up. You know, we've been kind of dispersed and set apart from each other because of everything going on with COVID. But it's many a night late on the bus that the band,
Oh, yeah.
which politically, well, in most ways is of one mind. We think the same way in a lot of ways, and we got a lot of love for each other. And to have the opportunity for a couple of us to come up here and, man, do anything we can to make a difference in the way things are right now. That's what the Steep Canyon Rangers believe. And we travel around playing for all kinds of people and take a lot of pride in bringing people together, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, and we play to a lot of people who hang out in one room together and forget that they got a lot of voices telling them they should hate each other and not get along. They get along just fine when we play for them.
Yeah.
And it's that spirit of inclusiveness that first, I mean, for me personally, drew me to Mo. First of all, it's a voice that we don't hear enough in politics today, and I love the idea of us being represented by somebody in Washington who's gonna represent all of us, and for us to really be a standard bearer for what we can all do if we work together instead of all this divisiveness. So thanks, Mo.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. You can't get home?
Yeah.
It's actually in G. This is tune low. So.
Okay, cool.
No better than to cuss in my mama's house. So more than not, I just shut my mouth. She hadn't lived here in a year or more, but I still stand a little straighter when I walk in the door. There's a fresh coat of paint on the kitchen wall. How it looked before I scarce recall. Somewhere beneath there's a pencil line. Shows how tall I stood the day I turned 9. I can't unsee what I've been shown. My body's bent and my mind is blown. And I never was ready for the things I've known. I can find that house, but I can't get home. Did my first tour in '94. I was following the dead, I didn't fight no war. And everywhere I went, all the locals stared. And it felt good feeling like a stranger there. I can't unsee what I've been shown. My body's been and my mind is blown. And I never was ready for the things I've known. I can find that house, but I can't get home. Of course. Dogwoods blooming like they always did. And the roof still leaks on the garden shed. And the sign in the yard says it's all been sold. But I gave it away a long time ago. I can't unsee what I've been shown. My body's been and my mind is blown. And I never was ready for the things I've known. I can find that house, but I can't get home. I can walk in the door, but I can't get home. I can sleep in the bed, but I can't get home. Let's see, how are we on our schedule here?
I don't know. How are we on our schedule here?
We're doing fine.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Okay,
All right.
we will. We will. Yeah, thanks. Well, you know, Graham here writes almost all the songs that the Steep Canyon Rangers play, which is cool to think that as we go around the country, it's just another really great songwriter voice that's coming from Western North Carolina. So y'all give Graham a hand.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that last song was inspired by my son, who is now over here running this live stream today, doing such an awesome job, running everything. His name is Wade, and one day, a few years ago, oh, he's not liking this, but I gotta tell it. One day, a few years ago, maybe it was when they were much younger, my wife and I were standing out in the front yard, and Wade and his sister Rosalie, younger sister Rosalie, go tearing by, and Wade goes, "Rosalie, let's get the hell out of here." No context, but that's where the first line of that song came from. Yeah.
That's one of the great kid one-liners. I'll throw mine in where my youngest daughter was really small and she was all of a sudden crying, pitching a fit. I ran in from the other room, and then my older daughter, who was pretty small at the time, maybe 5 years old, the one screaming, and the 5-year-old looks up at me and says, "I didn't bite her." Sure about that? I couldn't keep a straight face.
You want to pick one?
Yeah.
You got any in mind? You do that Big Coyote?
Let's do that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Barrett plays bass mainly for the Steep Canyon Rangers, but we went to college together at UNC back in the day, and I've always known him as a guitar player, and he's one of the finest fingerstyle guitar players anywhere around. So it's nice to be able to hear him play a little more guitar up here today. Got the bass in the car, but left that. I saw that, but left it in there, and I'm glad. I'd like to hear you play guitar. I'll let him play a fiddle tune for you here. Fancy.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah. What do you think?
Got that new one of yours, Come Dance.
Let's do Come Dance.
Okay.
Try. All right. You see us looking over our shoulders on this song. It's because we're looking for mandolins and
Yeah.
fiddles and things like that. So. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Picture a ballroom with windows so tall, with nothing to do there but slow dancing ball, where the love that you give comes back 700 blue sky without him, where the warmth of the sun falls soft on your skin, and the air is as clear as the song in your soul. And I'll tell you the prettiest lies ever told. Come dance, dance here with me. Come dance, set yourself free. Come dance, Melinda, come dance. Down by the water where the banks have grown wild, where you can drift off to sleep and wake as a child, and open your eyes as the new world unfolds. And I'll tell you the prettiest lies ever told. Come dance here with me, come dance, set yourself free, come dance, Linda, come dance, come
Thank y'all so much for being here today. We can't thank you enough for supporting Moe Davis for Congress.
Thanks, Mo.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. Thanks to Tim and Joan for their wonderful hospitality here. Everybody in the campaign for making this happen. All right.
Well, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for making this possible. And it's 43 days to go, so let's. This has been a nice break. But you know, when people ask me why'd you want to come home to Western North Carolina, it's days like this that makes this place so special. So we got to take care of it. This election, if you're my age, you've heard over the years, this is the most important election ever. This one is. Because we've got to decide what we want to be as a country. And that's when I decided that I couldn't just sit back. I've got too many years invested to watch democracy go down the drain. So we've got to fight for it on November 3rd and get out there and win this thing. And it shows, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing shows that elections have consequences. And we've got to get everybody out there to vote, because it's not just Roe versus Wade that's on the line, it's health care. Because, you know, the administration's appealing the decision and wants to take health care away from millions of people in the middle of a pandemic. So we can do better. So let's fight to the finish and get out there on November 3rd and win this thing. And we're going to have better days ahead in Western North Carolina and here in America.